We'll have our 4th annual Botetourt Honey Festival on August 17th. It is the brainchild of the Botetourt Farmers Market. And it actually happens to be the largest one-day festival in Botetourt County. That's a big deal. Last year, the Honey Festival, we estimated, brought in about 6,000 or 7,000 visitors. It was huge. It didn't start out that way though. When we started the Honey Festival, my friend and fellow beekeeper, who's been beekeeping a long, long time, Mike Wolf, had this idea that, you know, we ought to have a honey festival and sort of educate the public about the importance of honeybees, especially pollination. So he went to Grace Harwin, who ran the Botetourt Farmers Market at the time. He said, hey, why don't we have a honey festival? She loved the idea. And she came to me, I think this was in September, August or September that year, 2021. And she came over to my booth at the farmer's market. She said, hey, Sarah, what do you think of this? What if we had a honey festival? I said, oh yeah, that'd be great. We could plan it for next year. We have plenty of time to prepare. She said, oh no, I was thinking next month. I was like, oh, well, I'm not really one to plan things on a whim like that, but I guess we could try. And we had our first honey festival in October. It was a huge hit. We had so many visitors, and it was fabulous. So fabulous that we knew we wanted to do it again the next year. At the time, we didn't have the Dairy Queen at Daleville Town Center. That parking lot where Dairy Queen sits now is where we used to hold the farmers market. So year 2, we're gearing up for the Honey Festival. We had all kinds of vendors. We got, I think, 1 food truck in there and had raffle prizes. And I think we had about 8 beekeepers spread out throughout the market that day. And I remember looking out of my booth in the middle of the day thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm at Mardi Gras. There were so many people, just like 10 people deep between one tent and the next. It was just insanity. And I heard afterwards that there was such a traffic jam on 220 that a lot of people didn't even get to go because they couldn't get in and out. I mean, there was just so much traffic. So we knew then that, gosh, we're gonna have to find another home for the Honey Fest next year, which was last year. And at the time, it was the Botetourt Farmers Market and the Botetourt Beekeepers Association working together to plan this festival. And we were really frustrated trying to find a bigger home to house it without going so far away that our visitors wouldn't come, you know. But the town of Buchanan let us use the Buchanan Town Park, and the visitors came anyway. And last year was our 3rd Honey Festival, and we had 6,000 or 7,000 people there. It was insane. We had so many food trucks, and all the food trucks sold out. We had about 14 beekeepers and maybe 70 total vendors. It was huge. So this year, we're back at the Buchanan Town Park again. We have a list of food trucks coming. We've limited it to 8 honey vendors. Actually, I think it might only be 6, because when you have too many honey vendors, then none of the honey vendors do really well, you know. So we have a smaller number this year, a lot of vendors, and all of those Botetourt Farmers Market vendors, instead of setting up at the Daleville Town Center that Saturday, move everything to the Buchanan Town Park. So we're really excited about the Honey Festival this year. I think it's going to be even bigger and better than the last year. We have a new meadery from Bedford coming called Graham Ordinary. A lot of people don't know what mead is, but it's an interesting kind of wine made with honey. It's a lot stronger than wine. It has a higher alcohol content. Every year at the Honey Festival, we've had mead tasting so people could just sample it. This guy's actually coming and selling his mead there, so that's going to be really popular, I'm sure. And we have lots of activities for kids because really our goal is to educate. So we have several nonprofit groups that are going to have educational tents there. Groups like Master Gardeners, the Extension Office, the Botetourt Beekeepers Association. So there's an opportunity to learn a lot of things about honeybees and honey. And Brent Hershey, one of our sponsors, is going to host our honey tasting. So that'll be fun for everyone to sample all the honeys there. So don't miss it, August 17th.